Hello, everyone. Today we're going to look at option qualifier. What I use to uh, qualify an option to be able to sell a cash secured put. Hopefully, this will be helpful to you. It's what I've learned on YouTube and different resources to, figure out how am I going to know if the stock that I'm considering is going to be something I want to do. I want to actually take action. And so, anyways, what I'll do is kind of go through what I do in my step by step. And if you have any comments, suggestion, please feel free to leave those in the comment section. Also, if you would like to subscribe and like, that would definitely be helpful. Let me know that what I'm putting out is something that you like, and if you want to hear more, in the next video I'll be doing option qualifier for a cash covered or for a covered call, selling covered calls. And all of this is part of the wheel strategy. And again, I've learned a lot of this stuff on YouTube, watching various videos from different people, and just getting as many ideas as I can and incorporating them into models on Excel, Microsoft Excel, that allow me to implement and take what I've learned, put some structure to it to be able to make decisions. Again, these are just tools, so whether I use them or not, I try my best to use them to keep that discipline. And there are times where I will use it. I will take the action and sell the put or the covered call. I haven't done the covered calls yet. I started doing this month. I've sold options in the past, and I was now in a position to, you know, maybe not looking at stocks and buying and holding, but actually earning some income. Some people call it passive income because once you set the trade, you can just let it happen and it'll provide income on a daily basis up to the strike price. But anyhow, there's a lot of information on YouTube on how to do a lot of that, or what I was just talking about. But what I want to focus on here is qualifying an option, sell cash covered secured put. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of myself there so we can focus on the information. So basically what you're going to see here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to step through this. We'll do it step by step, and then if you have any questions, comments, or want more information, more detail, leave a comment and I'll make a video for it. But anyhow, you can see here the stock symbol. So today what I want to do is I'm going to focus on INTC, and you can see I have an example here of what I've done previously. So I'm just going to recreate based on today. This was a different trade that I did previously, but we're going to do a new one. The stock dividends date for myself. Again, I'm new to a lot of this, so I'm learning this. I've learned this in the last couple of weeks. Everything I'm going to show you, I did learn and from different YouTube channels. But you can see here, I have an earnings date or quarterly dividend, dividend payable date 9/1, next earnings date 10/26. And if I just put that information here, and as far as dividends, earnings date, how those are announced and how those affect it, not exactly in the place where I fully understand how those things work, because I know once there's announcements, it affects the stock price. It, fear and just so many different things can, cause the stock to go up or down. And so doing these option trades and selling options, depending on what happens and how people feel about it, if they buy or sell, it can shift it up, it can shift it down, it can pass the strike price, go below a strike price. So do some more research, get some more information. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. What I do is for entertainment, provide tools, share my experience so that, as we go with time, hopefully, my hope is that as time goes on, I'll get better and better and you'll see my progress. And, if you're doing it on your side and you want to say, oh, okay, it's not so much a competition, but sometimes it's fun to see how I am compared to others. So I look at guys like Brad Finn, Invest with Henry, and I say, wow, these guys are in it, they're doing it. And so I want to learn, right? So I may take some of the things that others are teaching me, incorporate it into my own, develop my own strategy, learn some things as I go, and eventually get to a place where I'm able to get consistent income. But if we look at the share price or the dollar per share at the open, so for myself, I use E-Trade because I used it in the past, so I have the tools. I don't actually trade on here. You see, this is a paper trading account, which I'm not actually trading on this. I use it for the tools. You can see I've developed some tools down here that maybe at some point I can go through how I've developed these. But Intel looks like it's in a positive trend, upward trend. It's got good momentum. But what I'm looking at here is the stock price. So 37.98. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 37.98 in there. And in terms of strike price, let's see. Well, let's do it. Just do an analysis. If I go to Robinhood and I go to Intel, oops, let's see. There it is. If I go to Intel and I go to, you can see it's in the red today. Looks like it's a 1.8789%. Let's see, trade options. So what I'm going to do here is you'll see I have a few items that I have here that I learned. Is the delta less than zero point 0.3? Is it a red day? Is it a negative territory? And implied volatility. So if I go here, I can see. Oops, for the delta, what I've learned in delta, let me just click on one of these here. Oh, actually, I got to go to sell, put, make sure you click on the correct options. What we're doing is selling puts. So we're going to go here and we're going to look at delta. So what I'm going to do is say, okay, I want a delta that is less than, wow, very interesting here. You can see selling a put, let's see, expiring today. All right, well, that's because it's today. If we go out, let's say we go out 14 days. I heard, depending on your strategy for this section, I'll use 14 days. But let's see, come down here. You can see a 0.19. 0.25. So what that is, and you can see here that the chance of profit is a 78% chance of this, uh, you know, falling at or above that strike price. So, and you can see the break even is at 36.11. So if you take the 36.5, subtract the amount of premium you're going to receive, you'll have a 36.11. So delta is 0.25. It meets the criteria. The implied volatility is about a 33%. So that's within the criteria. And we also saw that the stock's in the red. So what we'll do is we'll put the 0.25 and the 33. So yeah, it's 0.25. I got this is yes. It's in the red today, and then I think at 33% is what we saw, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 33%. So then coming back here, what is the estimated support bottom? What is the stock looking like it's going to do? So it looks like if I look at the 3-month, if I click on 3-month, I've set a bottom here, and here. Let's see here. That would be just the place that it's, maybe where I had the current bottom of what I was expecting. But let's see here in this one here, you can see it hits this point, it hits this point. So I'd call this, a place where it broke through. It tried to break through, got some resistance, came up, resisted here, and then it broke through. So I would call this a bottom, so 37.18, if you can see that. 37.18. So I'm going to come here and say that's what I would expect the bottom to be. But you can also see if it breaks through the 37.18, the next bottom is 35.53. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the excuse me for that. I'm going to put in the 37.18 into this, which I have here. There's a 35. We can look at that after, depending on what we're looking at. The limit price. So if I come down here, the limit price you can see is 0.38. And we forgot to put the strike price, so we go back there. That's why this tool, I like this tool, because I see the strike price is at 36.5. So you can see, as long as I fill in all these boxes, no matter how I do it, because I'm learning, right? So as I fill in these boxes, I can get the information that I need to be able to make a decision. So here we got expiration date. That's going to be September 29th. And the number of contracts for me, I'm just going to do one contract. And you can see that the minimum credit that I'm going to get, and these numbers should match what's on Robinhood as well. So the minimum credit I'm going to get is a $38 for placing this trade. The cost, basis, or collateral is going to be 100 shares at a strike price of 36.5. And the percent to ROI, it's a 1%. Return on investment, and if that trade was consistent every week, then the annual potential annual ROI, because it's a 2-week period, would be 27%. So there'd be an option to be able to do that if in the perfect world that's what it would look like as an annual ROI or annual percentage yield. Percent loss. Basically what I'm looking at here is if this was to come down to the actual, in this case, the strike price is below the bottom. So I feel pretty confident that it's not going to go below that bottom. But let's put the other bottom, because we were looking at what's the next bottom, 35.5. So let's put in a 35.5. Let's assume it breaks that bottom. And you can see that if I have to buy the shares, right, at the 36.5 and it goes down to a 35.5, then that's a $1 share price drop. At 100 shares, that's a loss of $100. It's not really a loss. I mean, in a sense, I guess, if I were to sell the stock, let's say it went below the strike price and it hit that 35.5 and I sold the stock. So yes, I would then at that point realize a loss of $100. With the credit that I got of the $38 for the option, I would actually have lost $62. But the goal is not to sell the stock. The goal is to take this stock. If it goes to the 35.5 or it stops at the strike price and it expires and I have to buy the stock, then I'll buy it at that price. And then I'll go into a covered call. And that'll be the next video, is looking at, hey, we're going to go into a covered call now. Here's where we're going to analyze that. And then we'll see, what does that look like? At the end of the day, what does that, what does that look like for us? One of the things that I do, as in addition to this, as you will see, is I keep track of my options. So I use the model that I showed you to develop. Am I going to get into it or not? And then once I make a decision and I actually do the trade, I put it into this model here, which I can show it at some point. But let's go back here, and you can see that if I hit continue, you can see what it would look like if I was to do it. You see the spread here is a 40 to 41. It's good. And so anyways, the goal of this is to show you the tool. I hope that helped you. If you want, you can go through, push pause, as we go through this. If you want to recreate this, just look at what I have, look at the cells, push pause, and then just put the formulas in as you see them. Just recreate the model for yourself, and hopefully that will help you to, you know, as you can see, there's an if statement here. If EW8 or E8, this one here, is equal to 0, then make it 0. And if not, then do the math, right? So basically that's why it shows a 0. If you don't have that, if you don't have this in here, it shows an error signal, which is not the end of the world, because once you put information in it becomes the real number. I just like it to be clean, so that's up to you and your preference, however you want to do that. And so I'll just step through each one of these. And again, you could push pause, recreate this if you'd like. Leave a comment. And if you need more information, or if you want access to this actual, maybe we can figure out a way to do that. But at this point, just kind of sharing the model, the tool that I use, and hopefully it's helpful to you. Again, push pause, create the model as you're going, and use the video, and that should definitely help you to recreate it. And then once you have this, you can just copy wherever you want it, paste it, and then just zero out the cells that don't have inputs. Yeah, and there's your model, right? So once you have one column, you can just copy paste it, and that should be able to be used for you. And let me go ahead and put this put that back on. Well, I hope that was helpful to you. Please, again, subscribe, like, so I can continue to make these videos, and hopefully we can get to a place where we're sharing information and getting some income and helping us to learn how to do these more effectively. So thanks again. Hope you have a great day, great weekend, and we will talk to you again soon.